Hello and welcome. The party is over. Diwali has left Delhi, the national capital, and the adjoining regions, large swaths of northern India wheezing in dangerously unhealthy air. Delhi and neighbouring cities have been suffering from a Diwali hangover after the ban on crackers was widely violated on Diwali. In fact, it pretty much went up in a smoke. A sharp increase in stubble burning in the last few days has also contributed to the rise in air pollution.
Delhi's air quality worsening by the day for the third straight day as it continues to be among the top 10 polluted cities in the country. From historic architectures in Delhi to the Taj Mahal in Agra, monuments were seen covered in a thick layer of smog on Sunday morning. The overall air quality in Delhi is in the severe zone. The overall air quality index on Sunday was above 430, while the PM 2.5 levels above 280, the PM 10 levels above 400. Amongst the top 10 polluted cities in India, all air quality indexes are in the severe category. Gurugram tops the list, followed by cities like Ghaziabad, Noida, Faridabad, Hapur, Baghpat, Delhi, Firozabad, Ballabgarh and Vrindavan. The Delhi Environment Minister has blamed stubble burning.
ये आंकड़े दिखा रहे हैं कि ज्यों-ज्यों पराली जलने की घटनाएं बढ़ी हैं, दिल्ली के अंदर प्रदूषण का स्तर लगातार उसी रेशियो में बढ़ा है। इसलिए आज मैं केंद्रीय पर्यावरण मंत्री को ये चिट्ठी भेज रहा हूं। ये जो पराली का जो पोल्यूशन आ रहा है, इसको तत्काल रोकने के लिए इमीडिएट इमरजेंसी मीटिंग बुलाई जाए।
Meanwhile, doctors warn of the impact of air pollution.
More than 50% of the children, school-going children, adolescent children in the age group of 14 to 16, we have found them to be having some chest symptoms. So some are coughing, some are having tightness, some are having shortness of breath. Some chest symptom is present in more than 50%.
The ban on firecrackers was widely flouted across the national capital region, with neighbouring towns such as Gurugram, Noida, Ghaziabad now reporting alarmingly high levels of pollution.
While political parties debate over the air pollution crisis, patients, those especially with difficulties in breathing and those asthmatic, will be the worst impacted out of this crisis. With Mohammad Mursalin in Delhi, Shonakshi Chakravarti, NDTV.
And heavy rains in Tamil Nadu have brought up fears and memories of 2015. Heavy waterlogging in low-lying areas has been reported after Chennai received up to 21 centimeters of rain overnight. Schools and colleges in Chennai, Tiruvallur, Chengalpet and Kanchipuram districts have been ordered to stay shut. The NDRF has been called in to assist in rescue work.
Chennai is flooded as 21 centimeters of rain pounded the city through the night till 8:30 this morning. The trigger, a cyclonic circulation over the Bay of Bengal. Water entered several homes. At Egmore in the heart of Chennai, there's ankle-deep water inside Vidya Reddy's home. Her mother on oxygen supply, literally in water. From the hall to the kitchen, there's water everywhere.
The first thing we did was move her oxy concentrator and portable oxygen a little higher so it doesn't get affected because we'll be in really deep trouble if that does get affected. And even worried about, her feet being constantly in water, so we have it now on another chair.
Water is being discharged from 3 lakes around Chennai that are almost full, including the Chembarambakam lake. It's the sudden excess discharge from here that had led to Chennai flooding in 2015. The NDRF has been deployed in 3 districts.
This once again brings back questions of the Chennai Corporation and the Tamil Nadu government's preparedness. But officials point out that the underground drainage system can carry only a particular volume of water, and when the rain exceeds something like this, beyond 20 centimeters, we'll have to wait for the waters to recede, and that will happen fast only when the rain stops.
Chief Minister M.K. Stalin reviewed the situation on the ground. 160 relief camps have been set up. 500 heavy-duty pumps deployed to flush out water. A 2-day rain holiday has been declared for schools and colleges in Chennai, Kanchipuram, Chengalpattu and Thiruvallur.
சென்னையில் குறிப்பாக 24 மணி நேரத்தில் 20 சென்டிமீட்டருக்கு மேல் மழை பெய்திருக்கு. இது அதி கனமழை ஆகும் என்பது குறிப்பிடத்தக்கது. அதனால தான் இப்போ வந்ததுக்கு பிறகு நாங்கள் செய்ய ஆரம்பிச்சிருக்கிறோம். அதில் ஒரு 50% எங்களுக்கு திருப்தி நாங்கள் செஞ்சதில்லை. இன்னும் 50% செய்ய வேண்டியிருக்கு. நிச்சயமாக மழை முடிஞ்ச பிறகு அந்த பணியை நிறைவேற்றும்.
The Met Department has forecast heavy to very heavy rainfall tomorrow too. Authorities hope the city would get some respite tonight. In Chennai with Suresh, Sam Daniel, Find TV.
And the Congress-ruled Punjab has given a hefty additional discount on petrol and diesel days after the centre's move to cut fuel prices on the eve of Diwali. Petrol prices will now be slashed by another 10 rupees and diesel by 5 rupees in Punjab. According to the Chief Minister, this hasn't happened in 70 years as he announced the cut months before the State Assembly elections due early next year.
पंजाब सरकार ने आज ਵੱਡਾ फैसला लेके पेट्रोल के रेट असी 10 रुपये घट कर रहे हैं। आज ही रात तो 10 रुपये 5 रुपये डीजल के रेट अज तो ही रात तो असी घट कर देंगे, जेड़ा कि पिछले 70 सालों के विच कदे मैं सुनिया नहीं कि इन्ना रेट भी कदे घटिया होवे या कदे इन्ना रेट बढ़िया।
ये जिहड़ा घटाया है ये डीजल ते 9.92 वैट घटाता है परसेंट एंड जेड़ा पेट्रोल है ये 13.77 रह जाऊगा। इफेक्टिवली वैट ऑन डीजल विल बी 9.92 एंड पेट्रोल विल बी 13.77 इफेक्टिव मिडनाइट टुनाइट। आज 12 बजे तो
See, certainly Mr. Channi has been seen as a CM who has been taking steps, who have been making announcements, and before he makes the announcement, there is always that information which passes on from the party that the Chief Minister is considering such decisions. So even when the opposition parties in Punjab were gunning for the state government to reduce VAT on fuel prices, many ministers within the government and senior leaders have already been speaking about it, that maybe the Chief Minister will take this decision in today's cabinet, and exactly that's what happened today, that petrol prices saw 10 rupees reduction and 5 rupees reduction was there on diesel prices. So certainly a big move, keeping in view that farmers consume a lot of fuel in this season during paddy stubble, paddy harvesting and wheat sowing. So a good move certainly will give some relief to the consumers across board, be it the agriculture community or the daily commuters, because price rise has been an issue which saw BJP losing all the 4 seats in the by-polls in Himachal Pradesh, and certainly these by-poll results or election results do resonate in the neighboring states as well, and Congress is tapping on the public sentiments. They knew that this is one issue they cannot corner the opposition on, because in the neighboring states of Himachal, Haryana, Chandigarh as a UT, J&K as a UT, all under BJP or central rule, you know that these states have reduced the VAT on fuel prices, and it was coming on to the Punjab Congress or the Congress government in Punjab to announce the reduction on fuel prices, and they did exactly that.
And at the BJP's National Executive Committee meeting, senior party leaders lauded the efforts of Prime Minister Modi for, as they put it, achieving a major milestone of administering more than 100 crore COVID-19 vaccines. This is the BJP's top body met with an eye on the state polls. The BJP strategy for the upcoming assembly polls came up for extensive discussion in the party's key organizational body meet, which met for the first time following the COVID-19 outbreak.
गोवा, उत्तराखंड, मणिपुर और उत्तर प्रदेश के पार्टी के प्रदेश अध्यक्ष और मुख्यमंत्रियों के द्वारा आने वाले समय में भारतीय जनता पार्टी चुनाव के संबंध में पूरा विषय रखा गया। राज्य सरकारों के द्वारा जो 5 साल में अभूतपूर्व कार्य किए गए हैं उनका व्रत मुख्यमंत्रियों के द्वारा रखा गया।
And it was also decided that the BJP will be contesting all 117 seats in Punjab in the upcoming assembly elections in the state. Remember, Punjab is slated to go to the polls in 2022. In the 2017 assembly polls, the Congress had won an absolute majority in the state by winning 77 seats and ousted the SAD-BJP government after 10 long years.
पंजाब के पार्टी के प्रदेश अध्यक्ष जी के द्वारा आने वाले समय में भारतीय जनता पार्टी पंजाब में सभी सीटों पर चुनाव लड़ेगी। इस तैयारी के साथ सारे विषयों को वहां पर रखा गया।
Certainly they will test waters, but we can't say that the results will be very surprising or something. But BJP is putting in lot of efforts in Punjab, which is going unnoticed. If you see, the National Minorities Commission and the National SC/ST Commission, they both have got a chairman who are from BJP. And National SC Commission chairman has been expediting, giving compensation, ensuring that compensation reaches to all the victims of SC/ST atrocities, basically in Punjab. And meanwhile, the Minority Commission chairman is also picking up lot of issues of Punjab. So somewhere they are trying to reach out to the SC population in Punjab, which is highest in the country, to the tune of around 31 to 32%. So somewhere BJP is also targeting, or their aim is to get the upper caste urban voters, which have been their vote bank since the days when they started fighting polls in Punjab with the Akali Dal. Akali Dal is a rural vote bank based party, and the BJP was their urban partner. So certainly that would be the focus, and also to wean away some of the SC vote bank of the Congress and some other communities also. So BJP certainly is trying everything. What also we are hearing right now is that the Kartarpur corridor, which is closed from the Indian side due to COVID, maybe on 9th of November or later on the birth anniversary or Guru Purab of Guru Nanak Dev Ji, maybe the government will consider opening it. Also a part outreach program towards the Sikh community in Punjab. So a lot of efforts will be played up by the BJP or the NDA government at the center to show that they are close to the community despite all the opposition as far as farm laws are concerned.
And let's move on to UP now, where the Chief Minister Aditya Nath of the BJP has taken a swipe at leaders of rival parties who he said did not bother to come out of home isolation at the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic. Remember, elections to UP are months away, and at a party event in Etawah, Chief Minister Aditya Nath asked BJP supporters to ensure that leaders who sat at home during COVID should be made to remain there in the elections.
जो आपके संकट में नहीं खड़ा हो सकते हैं, आपके दुख में सहभागी नहीं हो सकते, उनको वक्त आने पर उसी प्रकार से जवाब दे जाने की आवश्यकता है जैसे वे लोग आपके संकट के समय में घर तक सीमित थे, ट्विटर तक सीमित थे। उनसे कहना कि बबुआ ट्विटर ही वोट भी दे देगा।
Maharashtra Minister Nawab Malik on Sunday accused the NCB's Mumbai Zonal Unit Director Sameer Wankhede of being part of a larger plot to kidnap the Bollywood actor Shah Rukh Khan's son Aryan Khan. In his latest allegation against Wankhede, Malik claimed that the NCB official and a BJP leader Mohit Kamboj tried to kidnap Aryan Khan and demand ransom for him. Malik also reiterated that there was a conspiracy hatched by a group of people to lure people like Aryan Khan on board the ship and subsequently frame them in a drug case.
ये पूरा मामला किडनैपिंग का और रैंसम का है। मोहित कंबोज के साले की जरिए ट्रैप लगाई गई, वहां आर्यन खान को पहुंचाया गया और किडनैप करके 25 करोड़ की फिरौती मांगने का खेल शुरू हुआ। डील 18 करोड़ में हो गई, 50 लाख रुपए उठाए गए, लेकिन एक सेल्फी ने पूरा खेल बिगाड़ दिया। ये सच्चाई है। उगाई के खेल में मोहित कंबोज ये वानखेड़े का साथी है और ये व्यक्ति हमारे मुंबई के पालक मंत्री असलम शेख को भी बहुत फोर्स कर रहा था कि पार्टी में आओ। ये व्यक्ति बड़े बड़े नेता जो हमारे मंत्रिमंडल में हैं उनके बच्चों को प्लान करके वहां ले जाना चाह रहा था। क्यों इसे छोड़ दिया? क्या एक बड़ी कॉन्स्पिरेसी करके ड्रग का खेल सरकार चलवा रही है, बदनामी करने का षड्यंत्र था क्या? ये भी एक सवाल है। काशिफ खान की गिरफ्तारी क्यों नहीं, वानखेड़े के साथी को क्यों नहीं पकड़ा जा रहा है?
ऐसा कौन सा गठबंधन और उनका रिश्ता था कि एक ड्रग पेडलर और एक ड्रग माफिया और एक ड्रगिस्ट जिसके ऊपर आरोप नवाब मलिक जी लगा रहे थे कि ड्रग का सबसे बड़ा किंगपिन कासिफ खान है और उसका मियां असलम शेख के साथ भी इतना गहरा रिश्ता है कि उसको बार बार वो पार्टी में बुलाता था। मैंने कल उनसे आरोप लगाया था कि सुनील पाटिल जी से इनकी बातचीत और इनके रिश्ते हैं, तो इन्होंने आज इस बात को डिटो किया कि हाँ, सुनील पाटिल का फोन उनके पास आया था। उन्होंने पूरी सच्चाई नहीं बताई। सुनील पाटिल जब ललित होटल में शराब कबाब की पार्टी करते थे तो जो चौथा होता था वहां पे नवाब होता था। सुनील पाटिल अपना घर छोड़ के क्यों भागे हैं? सच्चे हैं तो अभी तक मीडिया के सामने 24 घंटे में क्यों नहीं आए? अपने घर पे ताला लगाकर भागने की जरूरत सुनील पाटिल को क्या थी? इसका जवाब नवाब मलिक जी को देना चाहिए। सुनील पाटिल को वो आगे लेके आए।
We're going to bring you more from around the country, but after a short break. Addressing an event, the Meghalaya Governor Satyapal Malik claimed that till now farmers have not even thrown a stone at anyone. He alleges now that the Red Fort incident has nothing to do with farmers' protests.
वो जो कहते हैं कि लाल किले वाली घटना, उसका किसान आंदोलन से कोई ताल्लुक नहीं। और मैं किसान आंदोलन का नेता होता तो मैं उसे भी जस्टिफाई करता। किसान लाल किले पे झंडा फहराने का अधिकार सिर्फ प्रधानमंत्री को है, लेकिन उसके बाद अगर किसी को है तो आप जानते होंगे कि आपके तो गीतों में, बातों में, किस्सों में लाल किला ले लिया, लाल किला लेंगे। लाल किले के दरवाजे के बाहर गुरु तेग बहादुर की गर्दन कटी हो तो उसकी औलाद को लाल किले पे झंडा फहराने का अधिकार नहीं।
And let's go across to Nazir Masoodi, who is reporting a serious story right now about a police officer who has been shot dead by terrorists in Batmalu in Srinagar. Nazir, what details do you have?
Well, Sarah, it appears to be a targeted attack, targeted killing of a policeman. He was coming back to his home this evening. As he reached near his home at SD Colony in Batmalu, which is in the heart of Srinagar city, he was shot from point blank and killed on spot. He was shifted to hospital by doctors, declared him brought dead. This is part of the series of targeted attacks which happened last month, mostly when the migrant workers and members of the minority community were mostly targeted in Srinagar and other parts of the valley. After that, police said there have been series of encounters in which most of those involved in those killings have been killed. But this evening we saw the policeman who was not armed that time. He was going to his home, was killed was shot from point blank. Policemen have been often killed this way when they are going home because they are local. They have to go into their home as well. They were not in that combat duty that time. So while police is on the forefront to fight against militancy, it is the same local police who bear the brunt of these attacks. Beside the civilians here, beside the migrant workers, which happened last time, but it also shows the kind of the security situation we have when we see after recent killings, more than 50 companies, which around 5,000 paramilitary forces which were inducted afresh in Srinagar city, which is already saturated with the security forces. So clearly showing that despite the massive security arrangements, there have been these targeted killings are not stopping in Jammu and Kashmir, particularly in Srinagar city.
Sad reflection of the security situation on the ground there. Thanks so much, Nazir, for that.